この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here finally for more Tower of God, starting with episode 5. So there are 3 episodes of Tower of God now out, 5, 6, and 7. We will definitely watch 1 episode. We may watch 2 episodes. We will probably not watch 3 episodes today. But I'll be keeping aware of Tower of God and trying to get more on track with it. To those of you who have been commenting on other videos, asking and waiting for Tower of God, sorry that there's no schedule for it. I don't really know how to put it onto a schedule because I don't know when I'm going to be able to watch it. I'm just kind of fitting it in wherever I feel like I can fit it in and playing it by ear. The reason that I don't answer you is because I don't have answers. I'm just winging it. Sorry. I do think that I'll probably end up watching most of the rest of the season of Tower of God. Like, unless I say that I've dropped it, I probably haven't dropped it for the foreseeable future, but there's no guarantee that it's going to be out on a consistent weekly schedule, okay? Just keep an eye out for it when it does drop. I'll drop it when I want to watch it, but I'm just going to watch it when I feel like watching it and not other times. Because it's definitely a show that I have to feel like I want to watch in order to give it its due, you know? Feel that way about a lot of shonen-y type B shows. But anyway, that's kind of neither here nor there because we do have a bunch of Tower of God episodes to watch. We're going to watch at least one of them. Where we left off last time was a pretty interesting position. It has been a little while, so I went back to the previous episode and refreshed my memory just to remember that, yes, we are in that particular moment where Rachel has ordered her crew to go ahead, just do what you need to do. If people die, then so be it, after looking very pointedly toward Bam and being like, yep, that's definitely that kid I know. He's expendable. That's pretty much where we are. We are in the middle of the crown game. Kum has stood up and done a cool thing with his bag of awesomeness, which does stuff, and pulled some tricks over the other people. Now everybody else is getting involved in the actual crown game itself, and things are about to get dangerous and difficult and potentially murdery, which sounds like a lot of fun. There are a couple of other characters who are traveling with Rachel, seems to have found a crew or group of her own. Don't know what they're about. I like the shape and design of the eyes of the one that we've seen more of, with the like gradient colored, it looks like eyeliner or something. It's cool looking. It's neat. I want to know more about that character, who they are, what their deal is, and what their relationship to Zahad is, because they had a particular reaction to seeing what's her name, Anak, the green lizard girl, with one of the swords of Zahad or something, and ended up calling her like an imposter or something like that, a fake. So there's some kind of relationship there, some kind of feeling like maybe the person who said that is more real, but maybe like a spurned princess or something. I don't fucking know. But we're in the middle of the crown game. Whoever wins apparently moves on to the next floor. I misinterpreted. I thought that because of the way that it was explained, that you just like insta get transported to the very top of the tower and you just win. That would be a little bit too crazy, so it makes sense. Thank you to those people who pointed out that, like, no, it's not quite that insane. You just win this floor and get to move on a little bit. That's it. We're in the middle of a game. There are high stakes. Maybe people will get murdered. Let's find out. So I've got Tower of God episode 5 up and ready to go. It is sitting at 0 seconds. I'm just using the horrible subs, normal, standard, official subs. Hopefully those are okay. If there are horrible subs in the horrible subs, then let me know. But that's the one we're going to watch. I've got it up. It's at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description. Timer-based version will be up on YouTube, and if you want to do a syncy thing, sync up your own copy with the timer-based version, you are welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you now. T. Okay, straight into the OP. So I guess the big question is, what has happened to Rachel in the interim? Between the time that they spent together and now? And what is it that has made her so driven toward her goal that she'd be willing to sacrifice that? Or is it just a matter of perspective? That from Bam's perspective, she is like the only person he knows. From her perspective, he's just some fuckboy. So, expendable? Don't know. Hmm. Hmm. Hello. Okay. Oh, fuck. Infinite replication. Yep. Who wants a crown? You get a crown. You get a crown. Yeah. Yeah. It's your birthday at Burger King. Have a crown. You get a crown, and you get it. All right, I'm done. And they're melting. Just chilling like a villain. All right, Scrollio. Good luck. Good luck, Scrollio. And rock. Yeah. He's a big old wall. Weird soundtrack choice for this whole sequence so far. We've got this weird piano smooth jazz thing going on. It's fucking strange. I don't get it. Why? What is the intent? Sure. And next round begins. Can you blame her? Alright, I wonder who will step in. Alright, that's the one with the eyeliner. Putting on lipstick, okay. They do. Oh, I'm gonna let them hang themselves a little bit further. Alright. Let them dream. Kevin, what the fuck? If you hear me talking to Kevin at any point, I'm talking to Kevin Penkin, the guy who did the soundtrack, just to be clear. What the fuck is with the drum and bass stuff, man? I don't know, man. More chocolate. It's much more useful than that. But that's all he can think of. Hmm? What's the distinction? Particularly aimed at the lizard? Oh, buddy. Wake up call. Starto desu. Alright, who's in? Alright. Alright. Alright, I'm not too worried. None of them are named characters yet, I don't think. What's the play, Kun? Oh, hello. Using the chocolate bars instead of dots. This is probably true. Kiddo. So casual. Why does that guy remind me of the... Never mind. Well, it looks like the truce is off. Was that a snapping, cracking pop noise? I don't like that. Nope. Nope. Absolutely not. Keep that one the fuck away from me. No thank you. That they would fight amongst themselves? On our side? Explain. Sure. When he... What? What the biggest brain move, Coon? So it's a fake team. It wasn't a door that opened. He noticed. That's why that line. Fucking hell. Of course not. Yeah. Yeah. And you're good at playing aces. True. Hey, give him respect. You can't bribe me with these delicious... All right. That's great. Oh, geez. I do not like her. I'm glad that she's on our side, but I do not like that one. Nakido. Get in line, bud. Sweet. And round 5. Final round. Here we go. Oh, she's getting ready too. Oh, buddy. Are they there? They're there. All right. Hello. He's realizing. Is he? Or is he? Is he? Yeah, he's seeing. And she's hiding. Be very, very careful. And we have no allies in this one, right? And it has begun. They're fighting each other instead. Bodysuit chick is badass. Sorry, multi-clops. Cool cut. And they're just letting everybody tire themselves out. All right. Sorry, Gleipnir. All right, somebody fight Jax. Because that's a big problem. Wow, that was a fun cut. Again. Again. Kevin, what are you doing? Oh, hello. She has a horn? Hello, Rachel. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that was an ad break, wasn't it? Yeah, that was the midpoint. Okay. Weird. Uh-oh. Oh, he's standing with his back to you, protective. John? Ken? And why are they protecting us? Sorry, buddy. That's pretty badass. Okay, I like her more and more. That's a lot of knives. Oh, brutal. Those are important questions that you should have been asking yourself from a long time ago. Okay. That's cool. Oh, she broke a heel. Step down, crackle pop. Yep. Seen enough of that in Symphogear. She's not much of a fighter, is she? No, not at all. And revealed and confirmed. Now he stood up. Bruh. Bruh, forfeit. Bruh. No, 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 no. And he got doinked. Ooh, he got doinked real bad. That's a bad doink. Got any bandages in that bag? Oh, he's gonna have a moment of fight. Awaken the sword. Let's go. Black March. CG Center of the Sun stuff. Okay, so this is Bam's awakening to the power that he's always had. Seems like it. Is it? If so, that's a hell of a power in a world that's run by Shinsu. Is that her mask? Yeah, it is. Whoa. Is that Black March? Yup. Hello. Hi. Good night, Bam. Oh, hi. It has been a while. Who dat? Is that a wheelchair? The bottom of I don't know. Holy fuck. That is a big boy. Oh. Was it now? That seems like it might be thematically relevant in some way. Oh, nice. Which we know that you make via hot water and instant. Yeah. How strange. Ah. No lies, please. Who? Oh, okay, I see. It's the thing that happened before they led into actually doing the crown game. New shoes. Right. Why not interested? Rachel and Yoru, right? Hmm. Hmm. So you think he skirted that rule? It's an important, good question. Okay. It's protecting the tower itself. The one with the unexplainable power. Sure, okay. Ha ha. That was a build-up. Contract with an administrator, but there are some. It seems like Bam is one of them. Thinking. Became Shinsu. Oh, I'm sure he will. Probably not by the end of this episode. Oh, hi. Okay. Rachel is approaching and she has a request of some kind. I don't think we have any information that we can use to infer what she wants. Damn. Okay. This is a big shift. Big change. Our Boya has awakened his power. Although he's currently unconscious because of that awakening. So his power is something to do with Shinsu, the fundamental magical force of this entire tower, right? And it has the ability to upset the entirety of the tower's current situation status quo thing. And in a totally, definitely not intentional, definitely not symbolic moment, in the moment when he first unleashed his power, he destroyed the crown that was representative of the crown game, and representative of success, and representative of the current hierarchy, and representative of the current King of Zahad. Yeah, that seems on the nose. Okay, do we have a little preview thingy? No, it's just that. Okay. All right, cool episode. Things are happening. Things are changing. Specifically, Bam Yoru. I'm going to call him Bam and Yoru. I'm sorry. Bam Yoru has awakened to his Shinsu-related powers. Leroro says that he became Shinsu. And the discussion that they have, that he has with the test administrator, brings up this idea that this is dangerous. That this kind of very powerful person exists. But only... Okay, so we have a setup. Usually only people who have made a contract with an administrator are able to use Shinsu freely like that. However, there are exceptions, and we are given the name of one exception, who is Urek Mezino? I can't read my own writing. Who has that crazy winged tattoo on his back, which is intradasting. All right, formed a contract with an administrator. That would violate the tower's laws, but there are some. And then we see this. Okay, so we've got a double helix at the bottom. It's more reminiscent of the is it the caduceus or the Asclepius rod? I don't remember. I just looked this up because of flip flappers, and I still don't remember. Caduceus, I believe, has 2 snakes. Caduceus, yeah, 2 snakes and wings at the top. Okay, yeah. So it, I think, is an intentional. Like, we're supposed to draw Caduceus from this. The staff carried by Hermes with the 2 intertwining snakes and then the wings at the top. But there are major different elements. Like, the Caduceus wings only has 1 pair. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of wings. 7 pairs of wings, sorry. 7 pairs of wings with stars, people, peace signs. And then there's, I think, a moon up at the top. Looks like a crescent moon or a musical symbol of some kind, unknown. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Now, one thing that I will mention is that I have seen this symbol, a stylized version of it. I saw it when I was looking for a wallpaper. Didn't know what it meant, but I knew that it was a thing. And what I found was one wallpaper with the 3 eyes that represent like the Zahad swords or whatever. And then a very similar, almost identical wallpaper in terms of just being like blank black with like a red thing in the center of this symbol. So I assume that it's also some kind of competing organization within the tower. Apologies if that spoils anything for you. I know it's meta knowledge that I probably shouldn't have, but I do and I can't help it, so I'm going to be honest about it. That I've seen this symbol, I just don't know its context or anything about it. Okay, so there are people like that, and he was an irregular, as is Yoru. And he became Shinsu, and Leroro is worried that he does potentially have the possibility of shaking up the entire tower. And it seems quite possible. Okay. Symbolism in this moment, hyper important. And it's made even more obvious by the fact that we don't do it in the context of the actual thing. We do it in the context of this later conversation, talking about ramifications and consequences between Leroro and Test Administrator Guy. We bring it up then. We don't bring it up during that the crown was destroyed. I think this is critically important. Bam's first act, without his own power necessarily controlling it, right? His first act once he awakens to his new power, which we don't know the nature of exactly, is to destroy the crown that is representative of the game and representative of the hierarchy and representative of the system and to an extent representative of the whole tower and the whole dynamic of the tower. So I think that spells out pretty fucking clearly that Bam Yoru is, by his very presence in the tower, going to do something that shakes everything up and changes everything, potentially leading to him being like a ruler of the entire space, maybe. Which tracks. That works with webtoon logic, which is different than manga logic, and I have to keep that in mind. But I think that works with webtoon logic, becoming extremely powerful over time. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, so our boy is awakened to his superpowers, which is pretty neat. Pretty fucking neat. We finally, after a number of episodes of absence, start turning our attention to other people who we know are around, like Miss Zahad here, and her apparently ginormous friendo. This is actually a pretty fun scene, because the way it's set up makes it look like it's forced perspective. Like Big Boy is just standing closer to the camera than Yuri Zahad is, which you could do with this kind of a shot. Given the background and given the way that it's set up, this is what that forced perspective shot would look like, but that puts it into your mind that's like, wait, are they actually on the same plane as each other? And what we're eventually find out is, no, Yuri's even closer to us than he is. It's the opposite, which is pretty fun and kind of playful from a direction perspective. It's fun and playful. So is the quirk that he uses like Nescafe and calls it his special cafe latte. It's ridiculous. Okay. So there's all that stuff. We talked a little bit about Bam. He's got his new Shinsu powers. There's all the fighting stuff, which we will definitely talk about because I have some gripes with it. I have some issues with this episode, but we'll talk about them. They're mostly in the center portion of the app. So we open up. Everybody's getting pissed at them for pulling a scam of sorts. Everybody goes in, and it is revealed to us that there are a bunch of people who are already on our side. To an extent for this battle, because big reveal, Kun is Super Omega Galaxy Brain, and he threw some randoms who were injured into his bag in order to store them so that he could bring them to a later test and unleash them to use as pawns. Fucking brilliant. That's really smart, Kun. I really like that. All right, so then we prep up for round 5. Everything's weird. Yoru's kind of noticing that something is strange, and then we've got Jax over here. I'm gonna call her Jax until I'm given a name for her, which I might not be because she just got her face cut in half, it seems. But I'm gonna call her Jax because her weapon seems like a lamppost to me, and it just reminds me of the lamppost slinging champ. You know? Yeah. All right, so she ends up bouncing around, jumping all over the place, killing people. cracking skulls, stuff like that. There are some really cool cuts with her in it. In them, I should say. I think this one where she goes swoop, swoop, swoop is one. Swoop, swoop. Yeah, the big swoop with the leg is the cool one. Yeah, and they went up to 24 for the animation on that portion. There are a few portions of the episode where I think they jumped to 24, mostly around her, to make her look like she's moving more smoothly than the other characters. And yeah, you see that she moves every frame and he moves every 2. It's a great way of indicating or demonstrating that one character is more fluid and nimble than the other. It's very cool. So yeah, there are some cool cuts like that, which I really appreciate in the fight sequences, and are the best parts of the fight sequences. But there's a bad part of the fight sequences too, and it kind of pains me to say it, but it's this. It's this, and it's all the way through. It's all the way through. Okay. How do I talk about this? How this gets into subjectivity land deeply. And a lot of what I do and what I talk about ends up in subjectivity land anyway. It's a necessity, right? We're dealing with art, we're watching it, we're piecing it together, we're trying to figure out what parts of it we like and don't like. Subjectivity land Teeaboo says, I really don't like what Kevin Penkin is doing for the soundtrack, specifically in action-heavy moments. It feels completely disconnected, and it makes the entire thing fall flat for me. And I don't know how to explain why. Give me a second to go through this with some sound on, because I can't really do that on YouTube, and see if I can find anything that makes me really think and gives me a way to actually express what I think about the music that Kevin Penkin is doing for these fighting sequences, and try to explain / elaborate why I feel about it the way that I feel. This is most of what I end up doing. Like, this is my job, is to see thing, feel a way about it, and then try and figure out words to explain why I think I feel what I feel from what is given to me on screen. It's a hard job. It's difficult to put your own emotions and your own like reactions to particular pieces of media into words that you hope are going to be coherent and actually convey your intent. It's difficult. Anyway, I'm going to go through and see if I can find any pieces that help me elaborate. As I'm going through, I'm finding little fun things like this. The moment when he moves his head over to the side, his eyes stay in place. It's just a goofy thing. It's just a goofy thing that smears his eyes out. But you can see it in motion as well. And then off he goes. It's great. I'm as I'm going through these fight scenes, I'm gaining more appreciation for some of the cuts. There are some really genuinely excellent cuts throughout. But I think that my initial intent, which was to try and determine what it is about the music that doesn't work for me, still works. So here we start the fight, and it gets really messy and muddled in the background, the music itself. It's not quite as drum and bassy as some of the other portions, which is nice and I think a good thing, but it still feels really disconnected from the fights that are going on, and very different from previous Kevin Penkin works, both on Shield Hero and on the small parts I have seen of Made in Abyss. Those works are like tailor-made for particular scenes and are put together in order to match the flow of scenes. So when things happen on screen, things happen musically that match them. Whether it's a dialogue sequence, like there's one particular dialogue sequence from Shield Hero where there's this kind of bouncy melody going that Kevin Penkin wrote, and it works and it functions along with the beats of the dialogue. And when there are fight sequences, his beats of the music usually function along with the fight sequences. The soundtrack from Tower of God so far feels like it was made like off the shelf, and then just slotted in wherever the production staff feel like it fits, and it doesn't. I don't think. Again, fully subjective. You might love it. I don't. I don't think this works. And part of that is that it also feels like all of the scenes are disconnected. And I don't know how to explain that except to say that every time we get a sequence where multiple characters voice their like sound effect reactions to particular things going on in the scene, it feels disconnected. So the example we have here is where Rack reacts and Kun reacts. So that guy reacts, blah. That and that, those feel separate. I don't know why. That also feels separate. And it doesn't feel like any of the music really matches up to what's going on. Okay, so music gets a little bit more frantic as we move along and as this person reveals herself as a genuine threat. And we move into this moment where we eventually transition. Yeah, moving. Okay, and then this is the part where the other track kicks in. And this one's a building track, right? It's building up to something. But it's building. It's okay. We cut out to Raheru. So immediately there's an issue here. This track is building up to a drop, right? If you've heard any EDM, you know it. You're right? Right? It's building. And then it just fades out to nothing. Where'd it go? I don't know. But this is a mid-episode commercial break because we are 12 minutes and 17 seconds into the episode, and we open on a completely different disconnected scene, which is weird, but assuming that there would have been normally commercials in between, fine, sure. Next soundtrack kicks in. Even more disconnected. Now we've got slowed cello. Now, I did have a thought when I was thinking about this particular piece of soundtrack. And maybe this is giving too much credit where I don't think credit is due. And I don't think credit is due for this. But you could, if you wanted to give much credit and much benefit of the doubt, you could say that this is an intentional choice to have this piece of soundtrack playing because in this current moment, we're inside Bam's mind, inside Yoru's mind, and he is entirely focused on Rachel. So he is currently disconnected from all the fighting that's going on, right? So then it kind of makes sense. Sort of. I don't know. All I'll say is I have a gripe with the soundtrack, specifically the way it's being used during action sequences. I don't like the drum and bass leaning stuff that it's going for. I don't find that it accents the action that's occurring on screen. I find that it detracts from it. And I found myself during some of these action scenes just like, all right, come on, finish up. Let's go. Which is unfortunate. That's not what you want during an action scene. You want to be rooting for it. You want to be in. All that said, there were some damn cool things in this episode. Cool fight scenes, especially with the skin suit, bodysuit, lamppost wielding lady. Really cool thing with this gigantic explosion of superpowers. Really cool thing with Black March coming back to step in and, I guess, hit Bam's off switch to prevent him from causing lots of problems. Hey, we got some characters that we haven't seen in a long time, and we are hoping and waiting for Bam to wake up before the next test begins. Also, Leroro is thinking some shit's kind of weird, and Rachel is approaching us for some kind of favor, but we don't know what. I think pretty much everything about this episode was excelente. My only problem with it is the music. If it seems like I'm dwelling on the music too much, it's because it's in such stark contrast to pretty much everything else in the episode, which I thought was really good. I thought the writing was solid. I thought that the character moments were solid and interesting. I'm intrigued by the mysteries, especially around Rachel. And I'm intrigued by this little generation of new power from our knighty Yoru Bami boy, who seems to be very, very powerful and has no idea about it himself. Very interesting. Also, I really like her whoever she is, whatever her deal is, the lady with the eyeliner. I like her. She's cool. Questions for next time. We have a lot of them. We have plenty. Mostly around Rachel. What does she want? Why does she want it? Yeah. What's Leroro worried about? Are we going to come into contact with the other organizations? I don't know. And what is Bam capable of at this point? Will there be a significant learning curve to his power, or is he just suddenly a hyper ultra powerful now? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait to find out. So I think I'm going to end there for today. I'll see if I want to watch more episodes of Tower of God over the next week and maybe catch up a little bit more. But for now, I think this is a good stopping point for me. I've got other things to upload as well, so we'll call it quits here. Again, sorry that Tower of God is not going to be like really on a consistent schedule. It's just not. But I will be watching it. I will let you know if I'm dropping it. Okay, that is my one promise to you. So those of you who are pissed at me for not talking about scheduling for Tower of God or not putting a community page post or whatever up, if I do drop Tower of God, there will be some notice to you. I don't think I'm going to drop it though. So don't sweat it too much. It just won't be super consistent. Okay, so sorry about that, but if you can stand the wait, then I'll see you next time. Peace.